Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman was one of my favorites as a kid. I was a big Chipmunks fan growing up, and I think that this was the film I watched most often. We follow the iconic trio who are acting in their school's production of Jekyll and Hyde. Alvin with the leading role of both Jekyll and Hyde. Theodore is getting bullied at school, leading Dave and his counselor to think that he has confidence issues. Meanwhile, at home, Alvin suspects his new neighbor, Mr. Talbot, may be a werewolf. In case you don't know, Talbot is the last name of the main character, the Wolfman. So Dave, the man is clearly a werewolf, as is anyone with the last name. That's a fact. It's just science. Between Alvin's shenanigans at school and how insistent he is about his neighbor being a werewolf, he basically gets the ultimate punishment of not being allowed to perform in the school play, and also Dave takes away all of his horror stuff. What a fucking piece of... So anyway, in order to boost Theodore's confidence, he gets cast in Alvin's place. One day while checking the mail, Theodore intercepts a package for Alvin. It's a book of horror that will tell him what he needs to know to figure out if his neighbor is a werewolf. Dave and Simon have adopted authoritarian tendencies into their home to ensure Alvin stays horror-free. So Alvin, desperate to keep Theodore quiet, gives him a crystal necklace that came with the book. Theodore accepts and goes to deliver it to his girlfriend Eleanor, but on the way back he's bitten by a werewolf. Theodore begins acting more confident but also cocky and has a real nasty side. Alvin and Simon take notice and eventually witness him transforming, convincing them that he's turned into a werewolf. So they sing a song about it and try to figure out how to save their brother's life before it's too late. The whole movie's plot feels like a homage to Fright Night. Both are movies about horror fans who think their neighbors are a supernatural creature of the night and go to their favorite horror TV personalities to try and get some help. While Fright Night the horror host eventually comes around, this one they just get some advice. Primarily have to try to solve their own problem here. I'm not gonna lie and say most people would enjoy this movie. The Chipmunks are something you either like or you don't. I understand both sides of the argument. But I think for a kids movie it does a pretty decent job at making a fun, family-friendly horror flick. It's got really nice atmospheric animation, the music bops if you can get past the pitched up voices, and the Wolfman references are cool. I won't label it a must watch, but if it sounds up your alley, definitely check it out. 6 out of 10.